Welcome back. I am Daphne Brown, the broker owner of Beyond The Home Realty right here in Rosharon, Texas. And if you've ever thought about selling a home, land, or commercial property in Brazoria County this year, you are in the right place at the right time. Yeah, 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 yeah. Y'all know how I do. Anyways, I'm so excited about today's webinar because we are going to be breaking down everything you need to know about the rest of the 2026 real estate market. I'm talking about the real numbers, telling you what buyers are actually doing right now and what you have to do as a seller to win in this environment. So, if you've been asking yourself, is now a good time to sell in Brazoria County? How long will my home sit on the market? Should I drop my price? Stay with me for the rest of this webinar because I'm going to be answering all of those today. All right, so let's get into it. This is week 25 of our Wednesday webinar series. If you don't know what to do when it comes to real estate, this is the webinar series for you. So again, we're at week 25, and today we're going to specifically talk to sellers. So we started last week or the week before with a huge emphasis on sellers. Our past Wednesday webinars focused on buyers, but do understand that we have a playlist on our YouTube channel, and we'll be dropping this onto YouTube on Sunday as well. All of the recordings go out on Sunday, but in every webinar, there's something in it for everybody, whether you're a buyer or seller or on the fence for either. You're going to be able to get something actionable out of each Wednesday webinar. So we're talking to sellers today. But if you are a buyer by chance who wandered in here, I want you to stick around because we want you to understand the seller's mindset. And that is going to help you become more of a sharp negotiator. And here's what we're covering today: the Houston Suburbs Market Snapshot, where Brazoria sits within that. We're going to talk about hyperlocal breakdowns by city, what buyers are doing right now in 2026, and exactly how to position your home to sell, not sit. And everything that I'm bringing you today comes from HAR, Redfin, the Greater Houston Partnership, and the Texas Real Estate Research Center. So it's real data, not guesses. Facts on facts on facts. You know what they say: men lie, women lie, numbers don't. So let's get into it. Before we specifically talk about Brazoria County, let's look at what's happening across the Houston metro because Houston drives many of the buyer trends that we're seeing locally. So here's where we are as of May and June of 2026. So keep in mind it's June 24th. So the month has not run out yet. And so these numbers for June are constantly coming in. But the median sales price in the Houston suburbs is $345,000, which is virtually unchanged year over year. And that stability, that's really good news for sellers. Now we see the average sales price is sitting just under $470,000, which is up 2.7% year over year. The current months of inventory is just at about 5 months, and that means we are in a balanced market, which means that it's not favorable to buyers or sellers. It's just kind of dead even. And so for context, any properties that are averaging market time of 3 months and under is going to be considered a seller's market. Anywhere from 4 to 6 months of inventory for properties is considered a balanced market, and any properties that are on the market 6 or more months is going to be considered a buyer's market. Now, here's the number I really want you to pay attention to, and that's pending sales. Pending sales in 2026 hit their highest level since May 2022. Yay! That's really good news because that is up 5.8% year over year. And that tells me that buyers are coming back like they never left. And we know they did, but they're coming back. They are out there. They are ready. And they are buying if a property is presented
and priced properly. And days on market is running between 46 to 67 days on average, and the sell to list ratio is right around 99%, meaning homes are closing very close to the asking price when they are priced and presented properly. Now, give me a
Now
second to
let's
talk to
put
you
Houston
about
in
what real
context
estate is
because
doing on the
what's
national
happening here
stage.
is
So,
genuinely
nationally,
different
we're seeing
from what
existing
you're
home
hearing in
sales that
national
are down
headlines.
24% compared to 2019. 24%. That's a huge number. As a matter of fact, most markets are still struggling to get back to pre-pandemic levels. And that is due in large part to buyer confidence lagging badly as a result of the affordability crises. But Houston, well, in Houston, single family sales are actually up 2% compared to 2019. And we're one of only a handful of metros in the entire country that's back to normal. And as it pertains to luxury sales in that category, anything over $1 million, that category surged 10.1% just in May.
Also, affordability has improved 17 out of the last 20 months. The typical monthly payment here is about $106 less than it was in March of 2025. And y'all know we have no state income tax and a genuinely diversified economy. So I know that there are things that are happening with people, losing their jobs, getting laid off. But I will tell you that overall, we have a diversified, stable economy. As a matter of fact, Dr. Ted Jones, who is the chief economist at HAR, put it simply: Houston is one of the few markets that's truly back to normal when it comes to real estate. And that matters for every seller that's in the room tonight and every seller that will look at this video later on. Now, let's talk about rates because this is the number one thing that sellers are worried about right now. Will buyers be scared off by the rate environment? And that is a really good question. But here's where we are. So a 30-year fixed is running around 6.37 interest rate to 6.5. The rates have stabilized, and that is the key thing. For 15-year fixed mortgage loans, we're at about 5.5 to 5.875 as of June 2026.
And again, the most important thing on this slide is that mortgage rates have stabilized. There are no panic spikes, no drama, and buyers have seemingly adjusted. Buyers realize now more than ever that they can refinance the home when the rates drop as long as it fits their current financial picture. They know that what they can't do is buy this same house at today's price once appreciation kicks in. So again, we're seeing buyers out now purchasing what they can afford now. The buyers who are out there today, let me tell you about them. They are pre-approved and they are serious. The window shoppers, the looky-loos, as I call them, they've already left. So if someone is requesting a showing on your home in today's market, they mean business. And one more thing, this just in. The Texas Real Estate Research Center is projecting rates in the 5 to 5.6% range by the end of the year. So I am saying that any rate drop below 6%, you can expect a buyer surge. And the sellers who are already on the market will capture the first wave.
All right. I want to take a moment here to talk about something that's happening right now in Houston. And I mean literally right now. And that is impacting our market in real time. What that is the FIFA World Cup. Yes, which is being hosted at the NRG right here, right now in Houston from June 14th through July 4th. 7 matches, 500,000 plus projected visitors during that span.
And the people are out here saying that that is going to equate to 1.5 billion with a B, billion dollars in projected economic impact for Houston specifically. And we have the highest flight bookings of any U.S. host city. Go Houston. Go get the money. Go get the money. Go get the money, okay? So now, what does that mean for sellers? Well, think about it. Right now, international buyers, corporate relocation professionals, delegates from countries all over the world are here in Houston, and they're watching our city on a global stage. They're seeing what we already know, that Houston is a world-class city with world-class opportunity.
The infrastructure investment is real too. $55 million in NRG improvements, road upgrades, public amenities, 23 new soccer fields built citywide. The Edu Fan Festival is running 39 days.
With 15,000 plus daily visitors, the economic ripple from this event is spreading across the entire metro. Trust me.
So, again, the spotlight is on Houston right now, honey. If there was ever a moment to be a seller in this market, in my opinion, this is it. Now, let's get super hyper local because the Houston Metro is not one market. It's a collection of distinct markets, and where your home is located changes everything about your strategy.
We're going to first start out in the Katy Fulsher sector. Now, I am putting a label on this sector as buyer friendly. I do reserve the right to put that label on any sector of the Houston suburb, but right now I'm putting it here in part because there is high inventory in the area and the new builds are directly competing with the resale homes in that 380 to 480 price point. But because of the strong schools, demand in this area is real. But as I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. If the homes aren't priced properly, then the homes are going to sit. And that's true in this area as well. So now we're going to make our way over to the Woodlands and Conroe section, which is where sellers have the most advantage right now. The tighter inventory means that prices can hold firm, and then also there's a strong demand for corporate relocation. If you're in this market as a seller, you're in a good position.
Now let's go to Pearland and Sugarland. That area is balanced in terms of the real estate market. There's more inventory, which means buyers have leverage, and the days on market are in the high 30s to mid 60s. But I will tell you, as I always say, presentation on your property is everything. Staged homes with professional photography are winning, winning, winning. And homes that look like they haven't been updated since 2010 are sitting.
Moving right along to Cypress and Tomball, this area is seeing steady, balanced growth due in large part to the area being family oriented. Sellers in this area who invest in pre-listing preparation are being rewarded hugely here. And then there's my backyard. Rosharon, Texas, Iowa Colony, Texas, Manvel, Texas, Bonnie, Texas, Angleton, Texas, you know, the South Suburbs, which I'll talk about more in a minute, but this is the growth corridor. For reasons like access to the Grand Parkway, space, affordability, buyers are finding this attractive, and buyers who are priced out of Harris County are coming south.
I want to do a really quick city spotlight, and I'm highlighting Hockley today because I think this market is underappreciated and underreported. Hockley is on the 290 corridor in Harris County, about 35 miles northwest of downtown Houston. And right now, there are 823 active listings.
Now, I know that you know that 823 is a big number, right? And I get it. I'm going to connect the dots in just 1 second, so hold right there. I do want to let you know that it's worth noting that the average home price in Hockley, Texas is just under $394,000. Now, the kicker, though, is the new listings are up 45.4% year over year. That in itself is massive. That's a huge inventory surge. And let me come back with the dots. So you tell me that there are 823 active listings and there's 45.4% new inventory surge for new listings. What is going on? Good question. I have the answer. Well, currently there are, get ready, come a little closer, there are 27 active master plan communities within a 7-mile radius. Boom! I'm talking about communities like Jubilee, which happens to be Texas's first wellness community. If you don't know about it and you want to know, I have a whole playlist on it. I'm going to post it here and you can click that link and watch that because Jubilee is the shiznai, okay? So getting back to the other master plan communities, we have Grand Prairie in Hockley, Delrose, Cypress Green, to name a few. And when we talk about builders, again, we're in Texas, so you know you're going to have your D.R. Horton, you're going to have your Lennar, but Hockley also offers higher end builders like Highland, Perry, Weston, Newmark, David Weekley. So you have those builders all in Hockley. And why do you have so many builders, and why do you have so many damn master plan communities? You asked that question, I'm going to give you the answer. That is because they're all zoned to Waller ISD. And if you don't know, now you know, baby, I'm going to tell you, Waller ISD is the fastest growing school district in Texas. And families are relocating specifically for Waller ISD. I'm going to tell you one time, I ain't going to tell you no more. That's just what it is. I also have a video on Waller High School, the newest high school, on my channel. I think it's titled, I See Dead People. You got to watch it and you're going to understand the video title. But here's the part for the seller. With inventory being up 45% and a sell to list ratio of 86%-ish, buyers in Hockley have real negotiating power. Resale homes are directly competing with brand new builds, and I just told you about the 27 active master plan communities. So with those new builds comes rate buydowns and a ton of buyer incentives. So when it comes to resale, condition and pricing are non-negotiable for resale sellers in this market. Buyers just aren't taking it any other way because they can take their happy ass to a brand new build. So if you're in Hockley and you have a newer resale home, a larger lot, maybe some acreage, you're going to capture demand from Northwest Houston relocators who can't afford Katy or Cypress anymore. They're priced out, so they're coming here.
Now we're going to get to the heart of why you're here today, Brazoria County. And I want to start with a big picture view before we go city by city. Brazoria County has a population of just under 427,000 people. It's the 14th largest county in Texas, and it's growing at 1.83% annually. That's 35.7% growth since 2010. This is not a sleepy suburb. This is one of the fastest growing regions in one of the fastest growing states in the country. The median sales price for homes is going to be $336,000 to $365,000. And the big kicker here is that is 25% below the national average. And the median household income is just under $98,000. The combination of income and affordability is rare. So buyers from all over the country are taking notice and they want to know more information about Brazoria County. Active listings are up 27.8% year over year. And I know what sellers think when they hear more inventory. They panic. But the thing is, more inventory doesn't mean the market's crashing. It means buyers have more options. And when buyers have options, the homes that are priced right and presented well still move. And the ones that aren't, those are the ones that are still sitting. The three cities I want to spotlight are Pearland, Manvel, Iowa Colony, and Rosharon. Well, four cities. So we're going to talk through each one right now. Here's what I tell every seller that I sit down with in Brazoria County. We're not just selling a home, we're selling a lifestyle and a land of opportunity. And I mean that literally. The affordability edge is real. When homes are priced 25% below the national median, first-time buyers and relocators who got priced out of Harris County are coming straight to us because they're like, what is going on? I need to see these houses. Simple and plain. We're the answer to their budget problem. So they want to come here and see what's going on. And then there's the land opportunity. This is something unique to our market that places like Pearland or Sugarland just cannot offer anymore. Acreage in the Rosharon, Angleton, and Alvin corridors is in high demand. So the buyers who want space, who want land, who want rural residential living with access to Houston, they're coming here. Also, our economic foundation is solid. Port Freeport is ranked 14th nationally for foreign waterborne tonnage. And the petrochemical, healthcare, agribusiness, coastal tourism, those industries create a consistent employed buyer pool. Also, the school districts are a major driver. Pearland ISD is A rated, Alvin ISD is B rated, and families specifically target Brazoria County school zones when they're relocating. And then the lifestyle pitch is what closes deals. We're 20 miles from downtown Houston, 50 miles from Galveston beaches, and we have Grand Parkway connectivity now. So space and access. That's the story that resonates with buyers. Now, I want to be honest with you here. 39.84% of Brazoria County listings did take price reductions.
And the sell to list ratio is just under 97%.
And that means if you come in overpriced, you will reduce. You will wait, and you will still likely end up below where you should have started in the first place. The sellers who understand that and price precisely from day one, those are the ones who are winning. Now let's talk about Iowa Colony. And if you haven't heard much about this city, please pay attention because the numbers are remarkable. Iowa Colony's population has grown 151% since 2020. That's staggering, right? 151%. The annual growth rate is 11.17%, which is one of the fastest in the entire state of Texas. So that is real information to sink your teeth into. The current population is about 21,573 people, and that number is steadily climbing. The median household income in Iowa Colony is just under $145,000, and that is the highest in all of Brazoria County. These aren't entry-level buyers. These are financially strong move-up buyers with real purchasing power. The average home price is just under $381,000, and that's up 7.8% year over year. And the sellers who bought here in the last 5 years are sitting on meaningful equity gains. The communities that put Iowa Colony on the map are Sterling Lakes, which is gated, Sierra Vista, which some parts is gated. Meridiana also has some gated sections. And when you have Hines Development making a 1,000-acre acquisition here and D.R. Horton extending Caldwell Ranch, the institutional money is confirming what we already know. And the city manager has said it directly. 288 South is the last major corridor of expansion for the Houston metro area. Because really, that's where all the land is, right? Land here, though, is still limited. Demand is not. Everybody wants land, land, land. So if you're a seller in Iowa Colony, right now, you hold a structural advantage. Now, let's talk about Angleton because Angleton is one of those markets that I think is chronically underrated. And I'm going to tell you why it matters. It's the county seat of Brazoria County and the population of about 21,751. And I'm going to tell you, it is growing so fast. Angleton has its first master plan community ever. So think about that. The average home value is around $248,000, which makes it one of the most accessible entry points in the entire Houston metro. Now, the days to pending is averaging 39 days, which is faster than a lot of other markets that we've talked about today. And the cost burden rate is only 21%, which is very well below the average. These are financially stable buyers. Now, let's think about the buyer pool that Angleton draws. You've got government workers, court employees, administrators. So there's steady employment and consistent income. And from Angleton, you're about 14 miles from Freeport, from the port of Freeport and the Brazos Petrochemical Complex, which is one of the world's largest industrial clusters. These aren't transient buyers. These are people who are planting roots. And the lifestyle story is compelling too. Small town feel, 30 miles from Gulf Coast beaches, cost of living 9% below the national average. And unlike Pearland, Angleton still has land. South Highway 35 and 288 corridor acreage is drawing buyers who want that rural residential lifestyle without sacrificing access to Houston. And Angleton is where buyers go when Pearland prices them out. And for sellers, that means motivated, qualified buyers who are ready to move. I want to take a moment to get inside the mind of a buyer who is going to walk through your front door, because understanding them is how you win the negotiation before it even starts. Today's buyer is pre-approved and serious. The days of casually browsing, through Zillow and just deciding, I want to go see this house, that house, that house, 3 houses on this street. Those days are over. Anyone requesting a showing has already spoken with the lender for the most part, and they already know their budget. These aren't window shopping buyers. These are buyers that are ready. They are taking their time though. So do let me let you know that, because again, we have more inventory. With the days on market averaging 46 to 67 days, buyers are scheduling sometimes 2 showings. One for them to come and say, yeah, I like it. And then another one, they're bringing their family members back and they're doing their research. This is not 2021. There are no panic offers on the first day. We're not seeing it. They're fluent in comps. They know Zillow speak. They know Redfin speak. They know HAR speak. They know, and they are researching. Do not think for a second that buyers don't know when something is overpriced, because again, I just told you they live on Zillow and they're looking at all of these other apps to understand and determine what the pricing is for an area. So if you're in Brazoria County specifically, please understand that buyers are also checking flood maps. They will pull FEMA to get the flood zone data. So know your flood zone before they ask, because if you don't, it creates a layer of uncertainty, and uncertainty kills deals. I will tell you also, when you fill out your seller's disclosure form, that is another opportunity for you to have a real in-depth conversation with your realtor so that you understand where your home is located.
In terms of flood zones,
buyers are also negotiating hard. Okay, so please expect concession requests, rate buydowns, closing costs, repair requests. Have your strategy ready before you list so that you're negotiating from a position of preparation, not from surprise. And today's buyers want move-in ready. So deferred maintenance is a huge red flag, and it is a huge negotiating chip that they will cash in. And they're not waiving inspections anymore. So plan for inspection requests. And when you receive it, know that it's not a threat. It's just what the standard is right now in today's market. Now, I want to address something that a lot of sellers resist. And I understand why, but I need you to hear this. Concessions are not a sign of weakness. In today's real estate market, where we are in 2026, concessions are how deals get closed. The most powerful tool right now is the 2-1 buy down. So you as a seller fund a temporary rate reduction for the buyer. So year 1, their rate drops by 2 full percents, right? Year 2, it drops by 1%. That can reduce their monthly payment by around $400 a month in year 1. And in a 6+ interest rate environment, this is a deal breaker. Closing cost credits are also highly effective. The buyer uses the credit to cover their loan origination, processing, and underwriting fees, and it keeps cash in their pocket and keeps the deal put together. And then repair credits. So instead of you managing contractors during escrow, the buyer gets a credit and they get to hire their own people. It's cleaner, it's faster, it's less contentious for everyone involved. And also, a home warranty is a low cost to sellers. I will tell you that buyers are asking for it. So $400 to $600, I will tell you maybe $650, but you get to give them this home warranty. You got a peace of mind, and it adds a very high perceived value to the buyers because it reduces their anxiety about major systems failing after the home closes. It's a simple goodwill move. It's clean, it's easy, and again, the buyers feel good about the purchase. And just so you know the rules, the concession cap, please listen to this. The concession cap for conventional loans with less than 10% down is 3%. And for FHA, the concession cap is 6%. And for VA, it's 4%. Investment properties are capped at 2%. So know those limits before you start negotiating. This is probably the most important slide in today's entire presentation, and that is pricing. And I'm going to be very direct with you. Homes priced more than 2% above true market value are sitting 90 plus days. And there's more. The painful irony is they end up selling for less than they would have if you would have priced the home right from day one. So, because now you've got a stale listing, a stigma, a price reduction is on the record as well. So now you got all those things working against your listing. And that's not good. So when you overprice, buyers are going to spot it immediately. I told you, they're looking on Zillow, they're looking on HAR. They know a lot more. I mean, they have the internet, the keyboard at their fingertips. They're doing the research. So you'll get no showings in the first 2 weeks if it's overpriced, okay? And every price reduction after that signals desperation. It raises desperation to the buyers, and you do not want that. A stale listing stigma builds every single week that your home is sitting on the market. And you may still face an appraisal problem even after you eventually get under contract. But when you price it right, showings will start immediately. And well-priced homes in this market still sell easily in under 3 weeks. You may attract multiple offers in some of the desirable areas that we talked about earlier if the home is priced right. The appraiser has comps to support your contract price, and you negotiate from a position of strength, not from desperation. Here's my rule. Use the last 90 days of sold comps, not active listings, because those are asking prices, not reality. But price for where the market is today, not for where it was last year, the year before that. We don't want to do that because that's going to keep you with your home sitting on the market. Now, let's talk about preparation. And I know we talked a lot about preparation last week, but
if you hear it more than once, that means it's super important.
So let's talk about preparation because this is what separates the homes that sell in 3 weeks from the ones that sit for 90 days. Number one, professional photography. We talked about that. Your first showing is not in the living room. It's on a smartphone screen. 90% of buyers start their search online. And if your photos don't grab them in the first few seconds, they're going to swipe right on past. So professional photography in 2026 is not optional. Number two is home staging. Staged homes sell faster and for more money consistently, time after time. We talked about that last week in our webinar as well. So you should help buyers see their future home, not the current one. You want them to walk in and immediately picture themselves living there. So that home being staged allows them to see that. And then number three, curb appeal. First impressions start at the street. Fresh landscaping, power wash driveways, clean exteriors. Don't spend $10,000 on the kitchen and ignore the front yard. That just ain't gonna work because the front yard is what brings them into the home. And number four, a pre-listing inspection. We got into all of the details of this last week, so check out that webinar. Know your home's condition before buyers discover it. Surprises during escrow kills deal. So get ahead of it. Disclosure is better than discovery always. And number five, fix every visible issue. So leaky faucets, damaged trim, squeaky doors, every imperfection is a negotiating chip in a buyer's hands. And you don't want that. You want to take those chips off the table before you even list. Number six are energy upgrades. So smart thermostat, updated HVAC, energy efficient windows. Buyers paying 6+% rates for interest are extremely cost conscious. Lower utility bills are a real selling point. And number 7, declutter and depersonalize. Remove excess furniture, family photos, personal collections, all of the things. Buyers need to picture themselves living in your space, not you, honey. Okay? All right. Now, let's walk through the process to see exactly what this will look like once your home is on the market, because a well-prepared seller is a calm seller. The process is you list, showings typically start in the first 1 to 14 days. You'll receive and negotiate an offer somewhere in that 14 to 67 day window on average. And then you go under contract with an option period in most cases. Don't panic if you don't have an offer in the first week. 46 to 67 days to an offer is completely normal by all historical standards. Do not drop your price before week 2 unless you're getting absolutely zero showings. So no showings whatsoever, then let's consider that. But if you are getting showings, but you're not getting what you think you should be getting, again, think about where we are in the market. It's not an automatic, let's reduce the price. And then plan for an inspection. Buyers are not waiving inspections right now. We're not in the pandemic any longer. Buyers want to know what's going on behind the walls. So expect an inspection and have a budget range in mind for those repair requests that are going to come from the inspection, because trust me, there are going to be repair requests. That way, when the negotiation report comes back, you're calm, you're prepared, and you can negotiate clearly. And then plan for concession requests. Decide your ceiling before you ever even get an offer. Have this conversation with your realtor. What can I expect for inspection requests? What can I expect for concession requests? Decide your ceiling before you get an offer. The sellers who are surprised by concession requests, they typically end up making emotional decisions. But the sellers who anticipated them, they can make smart ones. Your home will need to appraise, which again is another reason why you don't want to overprice. The home still has to appraise. Now, in 2021, appraisals were almost irrelevant because buyers were waiving them left and right, but that is over. Your contract price must be supported by recent sold comps, which is, again, why pricing right from day one is so crucial. Expect to close at approximately 96 to 99% of your list price.
A small give is normal in this current environment, so please expect that. And do know that full asking price closes are the exception as of right now.
All right, let's wrap up what's coming for the rest of 2026, because I want you to leave today with a clear picture of where this market is headed. Now, we're projecting 3 to 5% price appreciation for the year. This is healthy and it's normal. It's not a boom, it's not a crash, but it's steady, sustainable growth that benefits sellers who move now and buyers who act before the rates drop further. Any dip below 6% on mortgage rates will trigger a buyer surge. Historical data shows that kind of rate drop creates bidding pressure and can push prices up around 5%. The sellers who are already listed are going to capture the demand first. The Grand Parkway expansion continues to unlock South and Southwest suburban demand, and that directly benefits every seller in Brazoria County. The infrastructure investment in our corridor is not slowing down, okay? And the post-World Cup legacy for Houston is going to be real. Our city's global profile is elevated, and it will continue to elevate. Relocation interest, international investment attention. Houston is on the world's radar right now in a way that we haven't seen it before. The bottom line, Houston outperforms the nation. Brazoria County offers the affordability story, and prepared sellers, the ones who price right, show beautifully, and negotiate strategically, are the ones who are winning. So here's your action plan. First, you can request your free comparative market analysis, otherwise called a CMA. You can go ahead and request that from me. That will allow you to know exactly where your home is worth in today's market. And secondly, we want you to walk through your home with a buyer's eye. So step outside and then go back in, right? And look at it in a way that a buyer would. Thirdly, reach out to me, ask about my pricing strategy and marketing plan to get your home sold. All right. If you have any questions, again, please do not hesitate to call me. I'll have all of my information listed in the description of this video. And I want you to know that if you need help in real estate, I serve residential, commercial, land clients all across Brazoria County and some. And I want you to also remember that for all of your real estate needs, I am your homegirl, Daphne Brown with Beyond the Home Realty, and I am always ready and willing to enable you to find your way home. Till next week, guys. Bye-bye.
Don't forget, we'd love to have you join us during our live Wednesday webinars. I'll post a link in the video description. As far as the replays, we have a playlist right here that you can check those out.
I'ma just lay back and crack this window.